Welcome to Apiary Eats. Today we're going to make caramel pecan bars, so stick around. Well, first we're going to need a few things. We'll need a 9x13 pan that's been covered with foil and then lightly greased. You'll need a cookie sheet or sheet pan, just something to roast some pecans in, that's all. Next, we'll need 3½ cups of pecans, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2/3 cup of powdered sugar, 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, 3/4 cups of cubed butter, 2/3 cup, and I have a little bit more than that here, so we'll worry about that later. 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, and of course, our honey, 1/2 cup. So next we need to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Once that's preheated, which mine is now, we're going to take our pecans and just pour them on our sheet pan. You just kind of want to spread them out into a single layer, and then we're going to put them in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes or so. Now that our pecans are in the oven and the timer's set, let's get a couple other things together. We're going to take our flour, our powdered sugar, and our cubed butter, which was 3/4 cup. We're going to put them in a food processor and just pulse them a couple of times just to get them incorporated. Let's do that now. All right, let's add our flour, and again, that's 2 cups of flour. Two-thirds cup of powdered sugar, and 3/4 cup of cubed butter. We'll toss the lid on and give that a couple of pulses. All right, we've pulsed our flour, sugar, and butter, but our timer just went off. So let's check on those pecans.
Smells great.
Now we're going to take our flour, powdered sugar, and butter mixture that we processed in the food processor, and we're going to spread it out into our foiled pan, and we're just going to kind of press it down like we would a cheesecake crust. So we're going to press it down on the bottom of the pan, and we're going to go up the sides just a little bit also. And I am definitely not a perfectionist, but you do it as neat as you'd like it. I just like to get them in the oven so we can eat. Okay, now that we've pressed our crust into our 9x13 aluminum covered, lightly greased pan, we're going to put our crust into the oven. It's still at 350 degrees, so we'll put that in now for around 20 minutes. For our next step, we're going to need a pot. This one is 2½ quarts. If you have 3 quarts, that might be a little bit better, just because we're going to be doing some boiling now. So we're going to add our 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, our 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, our half cup of honey. I like to use a rubber spatula so I don't waste any of it. It's just so good. And then of course you get to lick the spoon. Best part. And they work so hard you don't want to waste any of it. All right, and this is our 2/3 cup of butter. We're going to get all that into here. Okay, and then we're just going to turn this on to a medium heat and mix it all really well and get it nice incorporated and turn it on. We're going to let it boil. Once that's boiling, we'll add our pecans to it. If you'd like to crush them up, you can. I like to leave them whole. Totally your choice. Okay, you can see our mixture's boiling now. Let's give that a quick stir. All right, so because we can't stir down the bubbles, we know it's ready. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and turn off that heat. And we can leave it on the burner, that's fine. We have a few more minutes still on that crust, but that's okay. So we're going to take our pecans and put them into our mixture here. These are just toasted from earlier, so they're still a little bit warm. And we're just going to mix to incorporate. You want all that ooey gooey goodness all in the nooks and crannies of those pecans. Trust me. Okay, and I'm just going to leave this here, and I'm probably going to leave it on a simmer, just a very, very low heat until our pie crust is ready. And then we're just going to pour this in the pie crust, stick it right back in the oven, 350 degrees for another 25, maybe 30 minutes. All right, our timer's gone off. We're going to get our crust out of the oven, pour our pecan mixture in, pop it right back in. The pecans have been poured in to our crust. We're going to pop that back in the oven now, and then we'll clean up a little bit while they're cooking. Okay, time's up. We're going to take out the pecan caramel bars now, and we'll see how they look. There we go. That's what they look like. I have a wire rack here. Just going to set them on that to cool. Once they've cooled completely, probably about half an hour from now, we will cut the bars. Now that we've made our dessert, let's make a salad. This is a honeyed pecan and honey dressing salad. Stay tuned. For our ingredients, we'll need around 4 to 6 ounces of spinach and or greens of your choice, about 1 cup of quartered strawberries, half a cup of thinly sliced red onion, about half a cup of blueberries, around a quarter to a half a cup of bacon bits, about a quarter cup of crumbled blue cheese. For our dressing, we're going to use about 1/3 of a cup of a white balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of honey, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and about 2/3 cup of olive oil, salt and pepper to taste if you'd like. For our honeyed pecans, 1 cup of pecans and a 1/4 cup of honey. And you'll also need some parchment paper and a sheet pan for that. Let's make our honeyed pecans. So here's our cup of pecans and our honey. That's going to be about a 1/4 of a cup. And we'll we'll mix those well. And let's just pour them on our sheet pan parchment paper. And then into the oven, 325 degrees for about 10 minutes. Next, we're going to make our dressing while our honeyed pecans bake in the oven. I have this nice container. It's made by Good Seasons, and it has markings on the side to tell you how much oil and vinegar to use if you use a lot of oil and vinegar dressings. However, you can use whatever container you'd like. So I'm just going to pop the top off here. Vinegar. This is my white balsamic vinegar. Going to add about 2 tablespoons of honey. About a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And the rest with oil. And this is just an olive oil, extra virgin. And if you'd like to add a little salt and pepper at this point, you can also. I'm not going to this time. Put your lid on, make sure it's clamped down really well, and shake it up. Dressing's ready. All right, our timer's just gone off, so I went ahead and turn off the oven. Let's pull out those pecans. Now that our pecans are ready, we have our salad dressing made. Let's put our salad together.